Hello, welcome.
Hi, how
Hi,
you guys
everybody.
doing? What's your
Oh,
name?
yep, sorry. Hi, hello. My name is Nick Johnson. I play Draco Malfoy.
And I am Tamara French. I play LaQuita Granger.
I'm Stephanie Ezekiel, and I play Juniper. Yes.
Awesome. So let's start with, what is your favorite thing about your character?
I love how eccentric my character is and outgoing. She's really lively, and that's me most days, but she's like 10 times myself. So I think that's the main thing I love about LaQuita.
Yeah, Juniper's super fun because she's always really blunt, and she says the things I can't say in real life.
Yeah. To piggyback on that for Draco, it's like his inability to filter himself for better or for worse is just so much fun. So much fun. Love
And
it.
speaking of Draco, what do you think Draco has been up to this whole time?
He's probably, just been exploring the world and other cultures and talking to people. No, not at all. He's been probably sat alone in a room with a lot of wine, angrily writing bad poetry, I feel like. No, I think he's done a lot of soul searching. I'd like to think that the where we left Draco at the end of the Battle of Hogwarts, he's continued that growth and that exploration personally.
And LaQuita doesn't so much like Draco, it seems. Why do you think that is?
It's probably because he's mean to Hermione, but also because they're similar in some aspects. They both don't seem to be people that like take a lot of shit from other people. So I think they butt heads because they say what they mean and they mean what they say. And at the end of the day, people don't like being told who they are, what they are, anything like that. So.
And let's get all the non-liking out of the way. Juniper, who doesn't like everyone. But more specifically, Hermione. Why doesn't Juniper like Hermione?
I mean, she just operated into my living room and was like, "This is my house now," and that didn't sit well. I mean, I think Juniper's used to like having her way and where she lives and just kind of getting what she wants, and she had no say in this, and she's not having it.
And why do you think Hermione went to Parvati over Harry in this crisis?
I think Hermione was just trying to disassociate with anything that had to do with her previous life. So, going to Parvati over anyone else was more like she couldn't go to Harry. He's associated with Ron. Anybody else, like a part of her years at Hogwarts, really that she really spent time with, are associated with Ron or Harry. So she just had to like disassociate.
Well, yeah, I don't think that they would see her as Hermione, but as the brightest witch of her age. There's so much that she brings because of who she is and what she's done, and I think to be able to effectively do this, to discover that, I think she would have to get as far away as possible.
And it's so soon after they broke up. Like, I wouldn't go to my ex's best friend.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
I mean, I think they'll become friends in time and like go back, but I don't think
That's not the best idea.
Yeah, bad plan.
And so Hermione is here now, staying with Parvati, but then gets kicked out and staying at Draco's. Why is that a problem? Do you think that still should be a problem, that Hermione has issues staying at Draco's place?
I mean, I probably wouldn't have stayed at Draco. I mean, I remember watching the episode and reading the script, and being like, yeah, like I totally understand where Hermione's at. So,
I feel like there's just so much there, and there's so much like baggage still and so much pain still that like to even see Draco or be around him is just like a reminder of what he had done or what had happened in the past, and it's just like, oh crap, now this person is trying to like make amends and help me, but like I don't even want this because they, to some extent, have ruined, like, messed up.
Does he
My life.
deserve it?
Does he even
that
deserve it?
redemption.
It's like forgiveness and redemption and all that, and it's just.
Yeah, and also on her, like, taking control of her own life, she was kind of thrown into, like, okay, well, now you're going to live with Draco. And I don't think that's what she was hoping for.
There's a lot of pride at stake, I think, for her in that regard, to be stepping out on her own and then immediately having to take charity.
Especially from Draco.
From Draco, of all people, yeah.
It also goes back to, like, disassociating from that, like, part of her life to some extent, and then, like, being thrown immediately back into it because of a certain person.
It's an interesting situation because it's hard, like, leaving your job and like,
your whole world.
yeah,
your
you're
life.
not used to having to take things from other people, but when you're in that situation, you don't, like, her dad, I guess just saw the episode, so it's not spoiling it.
Great, yeah.
But it's a hard time. Like,
you have no choice but to accept the charity, which is tough. I mean, because at that point it's not, like, charity at that point, it's just, like, needed. It's a necessity.
I think, like, it's not so much pride, but, like, again, Hermione's being thrown into a situation that she had no intention of being in. Like, most of being friends with Harry Potter, like, she had no choice in the matter to some extent. So now she's in a situation where she thought she had all these choices, and now again she's stuck with what is given to her, and it's just
making the best of a bad situation as opposed. Yeah, absolutely.
So why do you think, given all this that Hermione's going through, why do you think it's important that she reconnects with LaQuita?
I think LaQuita and Hermione's relationship is really important because she is disassociating with all of those things from her past to some extent, and she needs to find some grounding. She needs to ground herself again and find her worth and her purpose and her passions again, because I think along the way she lost those things because she was so focused on, the one who must not be named. So I think it's a really good thing for Hermione to reconnect with LaQuita and, like, build that relationship again, because it'll bring her back to square one and get her back on the right track.
Yeah, and it's also a connection to, like, this world, and it's easier when you have something, like, that's familiar.
Do you think that her being a Muggle has anything to do with it? Like, you talked about disassociation, like, to
reconnecting with the Muggle world.
Yeah, and maybe not even, like, to reconnect with the Muggle world, but to get away from the wizarding world. Yeah, I think that might play an interesting.
Yeah, especially, like, living in LA.
Yeah, there's, like, sunshine here.
So Juniper and Draco seem to be they're hitting it off friend wise. Why do you think they make such good friends?
Yeah, I think they have similar attitudes towards things, and I feel like in a lot of the situations they put on, everyone else is just, like, being kind of crazy, and a lot of the time they're like, okay, they're just...
They seem to both acknowledge that, like, there are rules that everyone plays by, and they don't care to play that game. They don't really want to engage in niceties and civility almost at some point.
Yeah, by crazy I mean totally reasonable.
Totally logical.
And just like, reasonable stuff.
Yeah, no, I think there's a commonality there in kind of the world that they see and how they relate to it, and kind of their response to it, how they choose to deal with it.
Yeah, I think they're very... It's interesting that he's thrown into meeting Juniper, because it is someone similar to, like, balance out compared to everyone else.
Well, I think it's really interesting too, like, how the similarities between Juniper and Draco versus, like, the differences between LaQuita and Draco, because like I think LaQuita and Draco are very similar in some regards as well too. Maybe more so than Juniper and Draco.
But even the similarities between Juniper and Draco, like, background-wise, they come from completely different
places.
Absolutely, yeah, which is interesting for that connection. It's really cool,
Let's talk about that drinking game from episode 1. Can you explain what that was and how that works?
Yeah, so you take a potion, that you pick out, or a mix of different potions, but you don't know what it is, and then you try it, and then weird things happen to you, and then everyone else has to guess what you took. So it's very educational.
Potions 312 is actually the official course number if you're interested.
That's how they pass the owls.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what your hopes are for season 2.
Powers.
Done.
Magic.
That's it.
I would love LaQuita to find out that she's just a late bloomer in all of this.
Her owl actually got lost in the mail.
Exactly.
Yeah,
In the sky.
She's like, oh yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
it.
it.
That's all my hopes and dreams were. So.
Yeah, I'd like to see Juniper grow too, and learn from Hermione maybe a bit, and I'd like to see Hermione learn from Juniper too. But yeah.
That was good. Yeah, Hermione also and LaQuita's relationship important.
Jeez, how do I follow that? Come on. No, I'd kind of like to see this path for Draco to continue. You know, I mean, because as much fun as it is to play, just antagonistic all the time and nothing matters except what I care about. To see him try to extend himself and like that kind of friction and that awkwardness is really, really cool. And I think it really helps to have people that like don't really know who he is, and
And like I don't
You're similar
necessarily
to him.
want Juniper to like lose her like bluntness and attitude, but I'd like her to like have more connections with people.
Yeah.
Magic.
Draco's cool.
Magic. LaQuita wants a Leviosa. Awesome. Okay, thanks, guys.
Well, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoy the series. Thank you for your support.
Look for season 2.
Yeah, we can't wait to show you guys more.